So it is Friday. Passover Friday, right? Yeah. I'm not one of those CNE Christmas and Easter Christians. You know, like my dad asked me, what was I doing? And I was like, I think I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna tell everybody, you've got a unique and individual story to tell. I was listening to I forgot who I was listening to, but the guy was saying that at that time when I was in the projects, there were white people there. There was a lot of white people there in the projects. See, when we think about the projects, we associate the projects with blackness, lower class. And this is I'm probably gonna delve into the history of projects, because I called my dad up and I asked him. I said, Dad, I said, and I know it's a dumb question, but I never really thought about. I always thought about Dad at where I met him, if that makes any sense. We grew up in Normal, Bloomington. We didn't grow up in Normal, Bloomington. I was born in Normal, Bloomington, Illinois, which was a suburb. So I never put the projects with my dad or his brother or my two uncles. And he was like, yeah, I was there for about a good 10 years, 5 to so and so. And I probably want to find out where they were at before then. Very, very interesting. And he remembers the projects being nice, being very nice. And then all of a sudden he remembers, and at the project Stateway Gardens, Robert Taylor Homes, there was no whites in his projects. There was all black people, working class black people. Keep this in mind when I say don't focus on black people, focus on the working class. And then he remembers projects eventually getting bad. And when we talk about I remember where my grandparents reside at now, Inglewood. I remember them in Inglewood, and I remember 78, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, around somewhere around 80, 84, 85. Somewhere around 84, 85. Inglewood was a good area. White flight had already completed its course, but they were still. It was still a very nice city going towards the southwest side of Chicago. Still remember it, and I remember literally 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. From 1983, 84, 85, 86, 87-ish is when it started getting bad. 87-ish, 88-ish. You know, when we started having the infiltration of the crack in the neighborhoods. I remember one of my friends at the time, I remember his father. And I know his father sold dope. I didn't know at that time what dope was. But his father first came in with a European sports car. Come to find out, yeah, he got strung out. I remember my friend Kenneth, whose name was Man, light skin, green eyes, very pretty sister. I remember the time where he came over and he had some foil in his hand. And at that young age, so I remember vividly. I remember white flight. I can remember areas going down. I remember in Dalton, Illinois, when my parents first moved in 19 94, 93. They bought their home from a white couple. There were two whites. Bought their home from a white couple. And, very nice suburb. And Dalton, Illinois at that time, if you go back and see Dalton in the 60s, they was ultra white. Bright white. Light bright white. But I remember that area, very suburban, manicured lawns, and it may still show some semblance of that today. But I remember, and I don't think it happens to be with blacks moving in as much as it is about the class. And I'll give you an example. I stay in an apartment complex. I'm not gonna front and be like it's luxury, blah, 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 blah. It's a very nice apartment complex, And I noticed, as I was pulling in from work, I noticed three guys. One guy laughing like it was the funniest thing in the world. He was laughing so loud. I said, can't nothing be that goddamn funny. Nothing ain't that goddamn funny. And this guy, one of them chucks a 32-ounce bottle of Gatorade, literally like he's throwing a little arcing pass into the bushes, and I yell, "Hey, somebody's got to clean that up." They just get in and they drive off. And when I was talking to my wife, I said, "See, this is how projects begin. This is how all it takes is, it's not the blacks. All it takes is for a class of people that don't respect, that don't clean. Because maintenance gonna get tired of picking it up. I pick up as much as I can, but I said, I don't blame. It's like come at me. I don't blame white flight. I don't blame people for when they see too many, and I'm gonna say it like this, because there's different ways of saying the word nigga. There's a term of endearment, there's a term of disrespect. When that's a different one. But when I use it this time, I mean ignorant folks. Ignorant folks that don't respect coming to a clean place. That's gotta see something clean and literally mess it up. You messing up the place. That's okay with you? Just to trash a place? What do you look? Go back to where you came from. Now I'm sounding all Sambo-ish or Uncle Tom-ish. The correct thing is Sambo. But no, go back and dirty your own hood up. Go back to where you came from and practice that over there. Go back to where you came from. Because I got to live here. Yeah, I'm just rambling on this drive about how the projects became known as the projects. It wasn't so much as black people as it was the class of black people. The class of people that turn nice projects. Because keep this in mind, an apartment complex can be a project too. Those could turn into projects. A housing community can turn into projects. I've seen it happen in Turtle Creek here in Vegas. Built nice houses, close proximity, and all of a sudden, people stop caring. So I said, "Oh, them projects now. It's a term. It's a term. It's a term. This is how projects become projects. White flight and projects."